Welcome back everyone to Matrix Wars. Today we're going to be talking about the Bumblebee review. That's right, Bumblebee. It is the 6th movie in the Transformers cinematic universe, and it's technically a prequel of the first movie. I went into this movie thinking, hopefully, maybe perhaps, this movie will be better than 2, 3, 4, 5. And thankfully, number 6, Bumblebee, the prequel, is definitely, I'd have to say, the second best Transformers movie, and the best one since the first Transformers film with Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox. Now, I think what happened here was, one, Michael Bay no longer is directing this movie. He's no longer fully in creative control. I mean, his name is on the tag, obviously, but he doesn't have as much control as he did with the previous installments. And that's kind of good. And kind of good means really good. I think Michael Bay lost direction of the goodness of Transformers and the original. I mean, it's the concept of an alien species that makes friendship with humanity and fights off evil robots. It's a pretty simple premise, and it's a really fun one if you know how to use it correctly. The thing that Bumblebee does that the first Transformers did, and I think the rest of them lost, was an emotional connection between the Autobots and the humans. For instance, in the first Transformers movie with Shia LaBeouf, a.k.a. Sam Witwicky, you actually have a connection. You're like, man, this guy's kind of down on his luck. He's not the cool kid. He's kind of, a dope. I mean, he's really fidgety, filled with anxiety. People can relate to that. And so when he gets the hot girl, he has a cool robot friend, and he saves the world. I mean, yeah, everyone can relate to that in a way, because they're like, yeah, I've been awkward before. Yeah, I've had anxiety before. I can totally relate to that. Or I've known someone like that. So I can totally see that happening, and I totally sympathize with him. And Haley Steinfeld in this movie, who plays the character of Charlie, she does a fantastic job as well. She's kind of a tomboy, but at the same time she can be girly. Obviously, Haley Steinfeld is very pretty. She's a very good and well-written, well-rounded character. And the romance, I think, was not forced. It wasn't too much. It wasn't, overtly sexualized. Thank God that the gross humor was out of it. That was really prevalent in the second movie, and kind of continued, and then it sort of went into bland, boring dad humor, where this one seems a lot more of a like a childlike humor. If I had to rank it on a scale of the Transformers movies, I would still have to put Transformers 1 above it, just on the fact of pure nostalgia. I mean, I went and saw that back in 7th grade, and so I grew up with it. I loved Ironhide, I loved, Starscream, and Megatron, and Optimus Prime, and Bumblebee, and all of them, and Ratchet, and I grew up with that, and I really enjoyed the first film. And a really cool scene in the Bumblebee movie is at the beginning, where you see these Decepticons come in and fight Optimus Prime, which this is another point that is seen in a lot of the other reviews, and that is that the action sequences here are very well done in the way that it's not all flares and explosions where you can't see anything. If anything, you can actually see everything. You can see the Autobots and the Decepticons fighting. It's very clean and really cool. Very good. Very well done. It's almost like they did like a John Wick version of Transformers. Like, you can see everything. You can see the fighting. It's great. You have an emotional attachment to Bumblebee, to Charlie. Even the family, the supporting cast, was really good. They did really well to help Charlie, build her up, and the conflicts that she went through. Really well done. Bumblebee did very well, and we actually got to hear Bumblebee speak for the first time, I believe it was the first time you hear Bumblebee speak. And he, sounded fine. It was really cool. It wasn't one of those things, sometimes if you have a woman in a role and it shows her, oh, you remember how Bumblebee used the radio to talk? Oh yeah, it was because of her that he was able to do that. This didn't overemphasize the fact that it was Charlie. It was a female, like a WAHMEN who could do it. And continuing on with the whole idea of Charlie as a female character, there was this moment in the one scene of the movie. I'm not going to give too much details. I don't want spoilers, of course. And the movie's been out for about a week or so. So, I mean, But basically, she has this really emotional and touching scene in which she reveals to Bumblebee, someone who can't speak and someone who can't react to her in a way that can console her and talk to her, basically her deepest and darkest problems and her fears and the weakness that she has within herself. You hear that, Ryan Johnson? You hear that? A female character with a weakness. Because when someone has a weakness, you can sympathize with them. For Charlie, spoiler alert, it's about her dead dad. And something that she does, which she does to kind of like keep the memory of him alive in a way. And yet she feels as though she fails at what she's doing to keep that memory alive. And that is something that I'm sure a lot of people can understand. I've never had a dead father. I can't really express that. But I definitely know of people who have dead fathers. And I can understand the pain because I've seen them go through the pain. So I look at that and go, yeah, I totally sympathize with her. And I totally want her to, succeed in what she does. There's no pandering, there's no SJW, NPC garbage. Bumblebee is just overall a fantastic movie, a great fun ride. As I said, way better than any of the other Transformers movies that I've seen since the first one. It is a Transformers movie that I will definitely be buying on Blu-ray and rewatching multiple times in the future because it is a fun, energetic, awesome and interesting ride, plus a ride through history because it's set in the 80s and it looks like you're in the 80s. I think John Cena was also really well done. There was this one part at the very end, and Grace Randolph, in her review for the movie, said that because of the Me Too era in Hollywood, this was the reason why it happened. But basically, this guy had been trying to follow Charlie around the whole movie, trying to get her to like him, basically, and him to muster the courage to ask her out. And he basically goes on this little adventure with her, and at the very end, he goes to hold her hand, and she pulls away, and she goes, "Oh, we're not there yet." And he goes, "Okay," and they just smile and laugh at each other. And she's like, "Oh, no, that's because of the Me Too era." Really? Because when I watched that in the theater, I looked up at the theater screen, and I was like, what? That's because of the Me Too era? I thought it was because they hadn't really developed that great of a relationship, and she was like, I'm not really into that, like that yet. Like, let's just give it a little bit of time. Like, let's not rush things, okay? I'm pretty sure that's what that was. I'm sure it had nothing to do with the Me Too era. I'm pretty sure you're just reading that a little bit too far into it. Just saying. Because when I watched that, I was like, seriously? She got that from the Me Too movement? I mean, I understand. Respect the WAHMEN. But, how utterly simplistic for someone to think, oh, it's connected to Me Too. Anyways, everyone, thank you for watching my review of Bumblebee. If I had to give it a 5-star rating, I would definitely give it probably a 4-star out of 5. And if I had to give it a number of 1 through 10, I would probably give it a 9 out of 10. Or 8.5 out of 10. Very few flaws. The one flaw I would have to say in the movie is there's a couple times where it lagged, but, most movies have a lagging point. Very few of them actually are just constant, And that's fine. So you kind of have to do that to, develop character and such. So that's fine. That's great. It's cool. Not any movie is truly perfect. I mean, maybe to some people subjectively, but objectively, there's no movie that is perfect. And we all know that if it's on a scale between The Last Jedi And any other movie, it's on any other movie. It's not Last Jedi bad. No movie is Last Jedi bad. So, anyways, thank you for watching Matrix Wars. Soon I'm going to be releasing my top 5 favorite and top 5 worst movies of 2018. Super excited to release that video. I might do both of those tomorrow. I'm not sure. I might make it into one video. I don't know. As always, please subscribe, like, dislike, comment below. Let me know what you guys think about, you know, Bumblebee. Let me know what your thoughts are about it. What if you liked it, disliked it, hated it, didn't care, whatever, didn't go see it. Why am I asking all these questions? I don't know. But we'll find out, I'm sure, in time. And as always, Matrix War fans, or people who are watching my Matrix Wars, or just random people on the internet, may the Force be with you.